Is my 31F marriage with my 36M husband really over? Me, 31F, and my husband, 36M, have been married for 4 years and have 2 beautiful boys, 3 Yo and 3 Malian. I went through a really bad PPD after my first that I shut everything down. My depression was so bad that I can't even remember anything from that year cause I was simply just existing. This means that I was physically there but mentally elsewhere. This was the time I needed my husband the most, but he thought I lost interest and wanted to be left alone, but in fact it was the time I needed him the most. Last year I found out he was texting and flirting with some other women he met at a club. God knows how many more. Fast forward now, we've been going to therapy trying to make things work. We both agreed to give our marriage another chance. Although he said he's willing to try, he's never put in the effort. It's always me who initiates talk, going on dates, etc., but you could tell he has zero interest. I'm honestly so lost and never felt so alone. P.S. He told a female colleague who is also married about our marriage and my private life, which I find it very unacceptable. He denied when I asked him, and when I confronted him he couldn't really give me an answer. At this point I have no idea what else to do. If having the first child caused you that many issues, including putting a huge strain on your marriage, I am not sure why you have a 3 months old. He'll never understand people whose relationships are failing, not in small part due to having children, who think it's smart to have another. So your PPD was so bad you literally have a full year of blacked out memory? I'd start with what went on there if you plan on mending this relationship. Did you have treatment for PPD? What does your husband say happened? What conversations led to another child, and how did you both feel about that? What changes were made this time? But if he's texting other women, it's certainly a very, very bad sign. This isn't the full story. It'd be interesting to hear his side and narrative of the past 3 years. You have deliberately leaned into the convenient, I was sick and needed him but he wasn't available, narrative. Then immediately pivoted to, he's cheating, so everyone can sympathize with only you. If you're going to ask strangers for advice, at least have the decency to be transparent about your own behavior as well. Do you remember anything of what you said when going through the PPD? You probably were pushing him away. You seemed to blame him for not understanding that what you were saying and doing were the opposite of what you wanted. Most men aren't some sort of empathetic savant. If you tell them to leave you alone, that's exactly what they will believe you want. This doesn't excuse him for seeking out other women. It's up to you whether you wish to exit the marriage over this. But don't blame him for handling your PPD wrongly. Make sure that the anger over that doesn't affect your decision on his actual wrongdoings. Last year you caught him, and without trying to fix or end the marriage, you went ahead and got pregnant again. PPD is very common in new mother. At a time like this your husband should be patient and try to help you out the most. You deserve better. Take some time away from him. Ask for your friends and family to help you with kids or hire nanny if possible. Seek individual therapy to build yourself again. Focus on yourself and the kids, they're the priority, and if your husband is willing to help then good, or else let him go. I, F35. Love my boyfriend, M40, but his dog is too much to handle. How to raise this with him? I have no issues with my boyfriend, he's wonderful and I love him very much. Where I need advice is with his dog. It's as though he thinks she's perfect, but really the dog is untrained. I grew up with dogs and like them, although I have to say I'm more of a cat person. He has wholeheartedly accepted my cats as his own, which adds a layer to my struggle. Sometimes I feel bad that I'm not able to fully accept his dog. Anyway, this dog is a lab. Anytime she does something, he says that labs are stubborn, food-driven, and it's not her fault. Things she does that concern me include eating food off our plates when we're having dinner at the table, like opening, and lunges at our food, jumps to eat food out of my hands and bites my hand, if I'm eating chips or something while standing, and she is impossible to walk on leash. She pulls so hard that it hurts my hands to hold her, to the point that I told him I'm not comfortable walking her alone. Sometimes we'll have guests over and they are obviously bothered by her climbing all over them on the couch, but I'm the only one who tries to get her off them. I've suggested obedience training, but he says she's a dream dog and doesn't need any. I'm worried that if I put her in training it will be pointless as he won't change his behavior towards the dog. Obedience training will also help as she only knows the command sit and has no recall. Obedience training will be useless unless we are both on board. Over the weekend, we watched a show on Netflix about dogs and almost an entire litter of labs became service animals. I thought, maybe you will see they are trainable? I'm writing this as she ate half my lunch off my plate. I'm just so frustrated and I am at my wit's end. How could I raise this with him again? The dog can almost certainly be trained, but it requires consistency. Your boyfriend has no issue with the behavior of the dog, so nothing will change. It may be time to tell him that either this good dog gets some training or you'll no longer be living there. Labs are easy to train. Your boyfriend is a bad dog owner. I couldn't date someone so irresponsible. The dog is a ticking time bomb. I couldn't even be friends with this dude. What kind of heathen thinks it's okay for their dog to take food from people? 99% of dogs are food-driven. Lol. That is no excuse for poor behavior. Tell the dude to train his own dog. Buy a sport dog training collar and large dog kennel to start the training with, or if he doesn't like those options, I would be out. Just so you know, if you pay someone else to train the dog and the dog doesn't respect either of you as superiors, it will revert back quite quickly. Lots of people have wasted thousands on training when they are the problem, not the dog. Your guy is definitely the problem. This dog absolutely needs to be trained. I wouldn't waste time showing him anything about service dogs. They're trained to such a high standard that it's like showing a 5-year-old who's learning to read a program about people writing Pulitzer Prize-winning books. Instead, show him, it's me or the dog, or, dogs behaving badly. Those are both about dogs that exhibit problems, often similar to the ones you're dealing with, and both those trainers are positive trainers that get results. Good luck. He needs to take off the rose-tinted glasses and see that his pup is spoiled. You're 100% right. The dog needs training. It's acting like this because this is the behavior that he's letting the dog have. He should also be the one to take the dog so that he learns as well. Fiance lied about finances and I'm wondering what to do. 34, F42, M. I brought my fiance here on a K1 visa. Before coming he paid for everything, the visa fees, my flight ticket twice to see him in his country and much more. I never paid for anything and he told me that he had 4 businesses in his home country. I kept asking him how much money he was coming with because he said he had savings. I was under the guise that his large savings could help pay for things while he gets on his feet because my job makes it hard to really carry 2 people on a modest teacher salary. Recently he told me he came with nothing because all the savings are gone due to him spending $15,000 on his father's funeral and the rest on an investment. Meanwhile he told me he would pay for things like a prenup here, etc. He withheld this information from me for 7 months and we have less than 90 days to get married. We have known each other for over 10 years online and I met him twice in his country. As a former K1 fiancé, do not proceed. Part of the K1 is that you sponsor your fiancé into the country, and if you marry him and then apply for permanent residency, you'll be on the hook for supporting him for the next 10 years even if you divorce him. K1 process and lying about money do not mix. Oh no, sad face, it is disappointing to have wasted 10 years on someone who lies about such critical things. But even more disappointing to waste another 10 years in the future. Don't marry him. I want to say, leave him altogether, which obviously is hard to do when you feel emotionally invested and committed. At the very least, delay the wedding until you can figure out more. Lost costs on a wedding is cheaper than a divorce. Have you watched 90 Day Fiancé? Don't marry him. What else is he hiding? Knowing someone online and in person is very different and you are starting to see that. Where is he from? You know, if you marry him and he applies for a green card, you have to provide a guarantee for his financial security to the US government such that he won't be a public charge for 10 years from the date of issue, right? Just something to think about. I have a really huge problem with liars. I don't mind ugly truths, just tell them in my face, I can work with that. But lie to me? Nah, I wouldn't marry him, period. What else is he hiding? I don't think you can trust him or marry him. He lied and deceived you. How do I, 22M, navigate breaking up with my girlfriend, 22F, during her exam period? My girlfriend, 22F, and I, 22M, have been together for 9 months. From the start, it felt like love at first sight, and she was the one who wanted commitment early on. Recently, I found out that she wasn't loyal to me during the first 5 months of our relationship. She hid this from me, and I only recently discovered the full truth. She's currently in the middle of her exams, which will last for another month, including practicals. While part of me feels I should wait until her exams are over so she can focus and perform well, another part of me feels angry and hurt, making it hard to even look at her the same way. I don't want to hurt her or disrupt her studies, but I also don't know if waiting is the right thing to do. I'm looking for advice on how to handle this breakup in a way that is considerate of her situation while also staying true to my feelings. What would be the best way to navigate this? Any advice or perspective would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Just do it now. She didn't respect you when she cheated on you. So why should you care for her when she didn't? Just do it now. Don't wait because there's never a perfect time to do it. If she cheated on you, she didn't respect you at all, so why are you so concerned with being respectful yourself? Normally I'd say wait until her exams are over, but if she cheated on you, fuck it, she doesn't deserve your consideration. Do it now. She didn't care about your feeling when she cheated those 5 months. Why should you care about her exam or anything? Just dump the cheating bee. Why are you being considerate? She cheated and you're having the conflict? Bro, dump her, move on if that is what you want. She isn't worth the hassle, it seems. She cheated? Fuck her. Drop the bomb and let her handle the consequences of her actions.